Today we're going to talk about 6 things you can apply to any training program to keep you progressively building muscle. We'll start by looking at a couple of things the stronglifts 5x5 program does very well. Now I'd like to make clear here that there is so much more to progressive overload than just adding weight to the bar, but this is one of the things that stronglifts does very well. They do this by having you start with a weight that's about 50% of your 5 rep max, and add in the smallest amount of weight each workout until you've surpassed your old 5 rep max. Then they have you continue to add weight until you can no longer complete 5 reps. Each time you add weight to the bar, you are increasing your training volume. As a matter of fact, there are only 2 elements of progressive overload that don't directly increase training volume, using the definition of volume equaling sets times reps times weight. And the second way stronglifts keeps you progressing is one of those things. They do this by adjusting your rest times. The recommended rest time between sets on the stronglifts program is 90 seconds. Now if you're struggling to get your 5 reps on your set, then they recommend that you rest 3 minutes before starting the next set to give you more time for recovery. Now if you fail to get all 5 reps, the suggestion is that you wait at least 5 minutes before attempting the next set. This additional rest time will allow you once again to potentially increase your training volume. Once you've increased your rest time to complete the set, over the next few workouts you need to start to slowly shorten your rest times until you're back down to your original time. This training progress is measurable only by time. It doesn't increase your training volume. Adding weight to the bar, along with adjusting rest times, are things that we might change on a workout-to-workout basis, along with adding another rep to our set, which is the third and probably most common way we can progress our workouts. Typically, we'll have a rep range set up of say 10 to 12 reps for 3 sets, and we pick a weight that we hit failure on within that range on our last set. Once we can do over 12 on each set, then it's time to increase the weight. We can also use a similar deload strategy to stronglifts. With our reps, once we find ourselves at a plateau in our training and we just can't get another rep, by reducing our repetitions, say 4 to 5, then slowly adding them back in 1 rep at a time over the next few workouts. Stronglifts reduces the weight by 10%, then slowly adds the weight back in. Another way we can add progression to our workouts is to add in another set. This would include drop sets, which I talked about not too long ago. So in this video, I'm going to talk more about adding in an extra set to your working sets. This isn't something we do from workout to workout. Rather, we do this over a block of time, anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks. This increases your training volume quite a bit, as well as the length of your workouts. If you were to keep adding in sets, eventually your workouts would get too long and you'd end up not recovering from one workout to the next. Adding sets in is something I do quite regularly in my training, where I add in a set every few weeks till I get to a point where I'm overreaching. Then I back off the number of sets I'm doing, change the rep range and weight, then do it all over again. Next is increasing training frequency. This is when you add in another training day, like when you go from training your full body twice a week to 3 times a week. Increasing your training frequency can apply to just one body part too. You might find that you have a muscle or muscle group that's lagging and would benefit from an extra training day. In my case, I'll add in an extra arm workout or a finisher at the end of one of my workouts, but it could easily be done on a separate day too. Changing the pace of our reps, in particular the negative portion, can allow us to progress over time. They call this fixed weight progressive overload. Now how this works is the first week you perform your repetitions at your normal pace. Then the second week you'd slow the pace down, in particular the negatives, going half the speed you'd normally do. Then on the third week, you'd add in 3 pauses on the way down. In a perfect world, you continue to do the same number of reps per set, but don't be surprised if you end up doing a rep or 2 less. Once you get to the 4th week, you keep the 3 pauses on the negative and add another 3 pauses on the concentric part of the movement. This not only makes your muscles work harder, but it also improves your mind-muscle connection, giving your tendons and joints more time to adapt to the weight and strengthen. That way, we can keep working out while having fun. This is Lawrence from Fit and 50. We'll talk to you again in the next one.